Hello. It has been quite a while, hasn't it? Now there is a reason for that, and yes, you are seeing that I'm using Chrome again. Now, this is for a very specific reason. I need to start getting used to it again because Windows 11 is making it horrible. Actually, no, I should start getting used to Microsoft Edge because Microsoft seems to be forcing everybody to use Microsoft Edge. So the set to default browser option will no longer be on Windows 11, which is a real dick punch, but you know, what am I going to do about it? It's a massive corporation. So, yeah. And when was our last video? Let's see. I think it was a few weeks, 3 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. And I uploaded Lightman Voice Assistant. Where have I been since then? Well, we moved. Yeah, that's right, we moved. Oh, wait, no, did I already mention that? I might have already mentioned that. And before anybody says anything, yes, it's 2:40 a.m. Yes, I now have a sore throat and I want to die. No, I'm kidding. That's not something to joke about, but yes, it's 2:40 a.m. and yes, there are bad side effects. I have a sore throat, but very mild. But we arrived from Costa Rica today at around 8 o'clock p.m. And because of the time difference, I'm kind of awake. And I've been coding Java on my MacBook from school. And because, of course, it's my school MacBook, something had to go wrong with GitHub. So for the past 15 minutes, I've been trying to fix that by avoiding the the Mac admin password that my school put in. And I don't know what I did, but somehow I fixed it. And I was then able to commit and push all of the changes I made up to the master, or the origin. Okay. What is this? Oh, right. I completely forgot about this. Okay, anyway, so yes, I did just come back from Costa Rica. I was visiting my grandparents there. Very happy to see them. Um, and I started up a new project. Now, I know I've been bouncing around recently for the past few months, maybe like a year, just starting and not finishing projects, and I think the reason for that is just because I'm still trying to find what I love doing. So far, this project that I'm doing has been a lot of fun, and I'm not sure where I'm going with it yet. However, let's just show it to you. It is a neural network. It's not a complicated one because the Wi-Fi in Costa Rica wasn't very good, so I wasn't able to actually get any help. I just kind of tried it on my own. And it's called Mark after my one of my favorite superheroes in the Marvel Universe, Iron Man, whose suit is Mark. His name's Mark. After I believe it's like something. It's like the founder of technology, something like that. Why is Iron Man's suit called Mark? It is named, yes, it's named after Colossus Mark I and Mark II computers used in code breaking, yeah, during World War II. Anyways, by the way, any of this stuff you see down here, that's just a friend But let's just go into my repositories, go to project MNNS, so that stands for Project Mark Neural Network Simulation. If you go in here, you can see in my Java folder, I have my launcher, and this folder, this package, with all of the different versions. And you can see up here in the neural network M5, standing for Mark 5. I always put the description of the changes I'm making to this version and the goals I aim to achieve in this version of Mark. Now, I haven't actually loaded this onto my computer. My apologies if you can't see very well. This is it, Mark Neural Network. You can see these are the notes I put into place. And I'll show you the actual code in a second, but I'm going to open up IntelliJ. And for some reason when I got here, the Wi-Fi was kind of crappy, so I wasn't able to do this before. But I'm planning to go to bed right after this, don't worry. Okay. Why isn't that opening? Oh, there we go. Just give it a little time. So I am actually very excited for Windows 11. I hear a lot of people like complaining, blah 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 blah. It's not compatible with these computers, and like, get a better computer. Now, normally I would not say this because I know that most people cannot afford a better computer, and I'm very grateful for the computer I have. However, Windows 10 will still be supported up until 2025, I believe, so still a good 4 years that they don't have to switch. And on top of that, Windows 11, the main change is literally security. And other than that, it's all graphical. The only other changes are graphical. Now, what's screwing people over is the fact that they don't have this chip called TPM 2.0. That's called for Trust Platform Module. And from my understanding, it's meant to help encrypt data, and it's just supposed to be more secure for your system. However, a lot of people don't have this because their systems are older. Now, the reason why I say get a better computer is because they don't have to switch to Windows 11. It's not a big jump forward in a new operating system. Literally the only two main changes are the looks and the encryption. But if they change it to allow their computer, then it's just going to be the looks, in which case there's no point in upgrading, right? So, for me, it's just like, please don't take this update away from me. Please don't take away the encryption. Stop complaining. It's gonna be fine. Anyways, so I haven't actually loaded the project on my computer, so let's go get from VCS. Let's go over to GitHub. Should be able to find it. Mark Project MNNS, and we can select clone. Should clone it for us. There we go. If you don't trust it, yes, this is my project, so we'll trust it. Should have loaded it's indexing everything right now. Should load. I'm not sure why I'm getting an exclamation. Air quality alert. Jesus. Oh man, the world is really screwed up. Damn. Anyways, here is the project, and we can just, oh man, sorry, that's really getting to me. The fact that the air quality is really bad just shows how badly the previous generation screwed. You know, the previous generation, my parents' generation, and I mean, I don't blame all of them. I'm just saying that that a lot of them blame how lazy kids are. Like, oh, they play video games all the time, but at the same time, their generation, someone who invented the video games. But most importantly, how are we lazy? They are the ones who literally screwed up the planet to the point where we're gonna have to struggle and solve their problems, and they're not doing crap about it. They haven't done shit about it. They're the ones being lazy, and they won't solve this problem. I think another problem is the big corporations have too much power when it comes to climate change, and all they care about is money. So, up yours, buddy. That's that. Yeah, that's all I have to say to large oil companies. Yeah, just up yours, buddy. This really sucks. Thank God we have an air filter, and what a nice welcome for coming back from New York. Again, up yours, buddy. Anybody who works for, well, not works, anybody who works for an oil company, but not like the minimum wage workers, just like that, not the people who have to work for just for a job, just, you know what I mean, just the people who like plan out yeah, the people who run oil companies. Up yours, buddy, because you're really screwing up the planet for my generation to the point where we won't be able to survive. Thank you. Anyways, that's enough of me raging. Let's just run this. I can show you what's happening. Now, Mark 5 isn't finished, so I'm not gonna show that to you, but I can show you Mark 4. So if I just select Mark 4, it says Mark 4 is awake and listening. I just say hello, then it learns these characters, HELO, and then it defines the path hello, and now when I say hello back to it, it says hello back to me. Now, if I can make it learn the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now, it will actually forget these characters if I don't use them often enough. But anyways, now we can say hello. Because it's already defined the path hello, but let's say we say fart has to define the path, and then and then we can say fart, and it'll remember fart, that word in that specific path. So let me just show you the hierarchy. So we have our neural network. So this is the latest update. Mark 4 neural network simulation allows Mark to learn words through strings of neurons, connected neurons. Therefore, each word can be referred to by a path instead of each individual character or neuron. So, just a quick rundown. A neuron represents a character, and whenever you put in a new character and Mark hears it or listens to it via the console, it will learn that character and it will store that character into a neuron. The forgetting of a path is a little different. Okay, so I'm going to skip the memory part of the path because I plan to refine that once I'm done with the actual learning. But essentially how it works is I have 3 packages, 2 of which I will focus on first. We have the neuron and the neuron manager. So the neuron simply stores a character, which is a variable character that cannot be changed. And the reason why it cannot be changed is because what's happening is every time we say something, it decreases the amount of memory it has, in which case if it gets to 0, then you'll be able to override that memory. I don't know if that made any sense, but it's literally 3 a.m. I'm not going to spend any more time explaining that. So neuron holds a character, a keyboard character. Then we have paths. Paths are just strings, and these strings hold these strings called the definition are basically set to the neurons that you've pet. I can't really explain it right now. Essentially, you create a path, and the path is literally just defined by the neurons. So, I actually wrote it in my notebook. I do have a notebook for planning this, and I wrote a very good hierarchy. Let's see if I can get it. I think it's in my backpack. Alrighty, so I found my notebook, which I got in Costa Rica. we have the full Mark V hierarchy. Do I have the hierarchy for Mark IV? Some drafts. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna explain how Mark V is going to work. So, let's see, version 2 of path sequence system. High mark will turn into neurons, turns into separated strings, and that creates an idea. Okay, so based off of the diagram that I drafted for Mark V, which I call the path sequence system. Not sure how I came up with that. PSS. So when we input a word, let's say we input a sentence, high space mark, Mark will hear that, and it will take that as a string and turn each individual character in that string, so everything from HI space MA to like RK, will turn all of that, and if there's an exclamation point, it will turn that all of those characters, including the space and exclamation point, into individual neurons. So one neuron will turn into the space, another neuron will be defined by an H, etc. Now, how it does this is it checks if a neuron with that specific character, or code is what I call it, with this specific code exists. If it does, then it does nothing. However, if it doesn't, then it creates a new neuron and defines it, and it's defined by the character that it's learning. Now, if none of the characters need to be learned, then it will move on to the second step, which is check its path. So then it will essentially turn all of those neurons into a string again, and it will separate each word, and each word will be separated by a space. So if there's a space, then it will separate. Since there's a space between high and mark, it will separate high into one string and mark into another, and then those two will be combined to form what I labeled here an idea, but what I later on decided to be a cluster, and then scratched that name and decided that it would be named a nucleus. So okay, so here's the reasoning behind it, which I wrote down. This system allows strings or responses to be modified without being static, while also making strings the key to the response machine. I don't know. It's 3 a.m. I don't know if that made any sense. But whatever. And then I just draft names for that third object. And okay, so the full Mark V hierarchy, which I wrote down here in my notebook. The reason I'm making this is because Mark V is going to be a lot. Okay, no, skip that. Okay, so number 1, the neuron. A neuron holds a character that cannot be changed. It's a constant/final, depending on what language you're in. However, it can be forgotten and therefore overridden. Okay, so then we move on to the second in the hierarchy, which is the path. A path holds a word. When a sentence is passed in, it breaks it down into neurons. It also then groups the neurons together in groups separated by spaces. In the end, a path holds a word in a string. Then, third, we have a cluster. A cluster holds a string representing paths. The point of a cluster, or what I later changed to be named a nucleus, so a nucleus holds a string representing paths. The point of a nucleus is to package together multiple paths to make it easier to handle. And that's it. I hope you understood it, because I sure as hell didn't, because it's literally 2:59. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I should not be making this video. But yeah, that's my plan for Mark 5, and the end goal, I'm not entirely sure, but I wanted to learn how to speak by observing how other people talk. Or I can just have it memorize stuff, honestly. Just like have it be my personal assistant where I just tell it stuff to remember, and it remembers it. That's it. But yep, brief rundown on what the hell oh my god, it's been 20 minutes. Brief rundown on what I've been talking about. GitHub was giving me issues in Costa Rica. The reason why I haven't been uploading is because I was in Costa Rica visiting grandparents. While I was in Costa Rica, I was also coding on my laptop a brand new neural network simulation, which I call Mark. And then I just explained Mark 5, the plan, which it involves neurons, paths, and nuclei. I think that's what the plural of nucleus. And one last thing to add on at the end. The last video, voice assistant, called Lightman, I do plan to combine that with this and have it be a voice assistant that just memorizes whatever I tell it. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna go now and cure my depression.